Hey guys, I'm Lockie from 186 and welcome to our very first episode of All Talk. Welcome back. Today we've got Paul and Sean from TWG and they're going to be showing off their Nissan GTR R34s. Cool. So Paul, why don't you start off by telling us a little bit about how you got into this industry?
Probably back when I was a kid, my old man he had the love of the V8s, had an old Falcon. Used to drive around in that and watch Bathurst and that sort of thing. When I was early 20s, I was looking to buy myself a V8. My girlfriend didn't like them. So she co-signed a loan to get a Starion Turbo instead. So she pretty much put me into the JDM scene, I guess, unknowingly.
But kind of forced into it then.
Yeah, that's it. And that Starion was a great car. We modified it up, water methanol injection. I drove it till probably 99. And after that, had no car for about 2 years. And my wife was pregnant. She said I had to get a car that could fit a baby in the back. So that's when I bought my first Skyline 32 GTR. Turns out baby does fit in the back.
Perfect. Sean, what about yourself? Where did your passion for cars first start?
Probably as a baby, drawing little cars as a 2-3-year-old, and then watching my dad drive my mum's Escort like a rally car. And then from there, just seeing the high performance imports magazines back when I was a teenager, and then seeing my first 32. So a few years later, I ended up in the chair of a 32 GTR, and I called that my own, and that was sort of where it went off. So it's great. Yeah,
that's awesome. What about now? What about yourself, Paul? About how you got into time attack or kind of the racing scene? So
okay. Well, when I got my first 32 GTR, I used to drive around the mountains with the boys, and one of the guys said, "Why don't we do a track day?" So we headed out to Morgan Park at Warwick, checked one out, thought it was cool. Worked out how to book the event, took out a bunch of guys and pretty much started from there. One day, one guy couldn't show up, so we had to rope someone else in, got on the Facebook, started a bit of a group there. Back in those days, it was the Skylines Australia Club and the Evo guys, and just built itself, I guess. And we were running track days for a couple of years and reading high performance imports magazines. I started seeing time attack. Yeah, I love the format and registered www.timeattack.com.au and kicked it off. So
that's awesome. And obviously you've built Time Attack into what it is today. Why don't you kind of take us through the process of getting it to where it's been today?
I guess in a lot of ways it's the people who come out to track day that made it happen. I feel like I organise it, but those guys are the ones that make the events. And every year I put out surveys to get their feedback of how they want the rules to evolve, and we run special events. Most of the time someone gives me an idea. We've run back a while ago, we were sponsored by the Motul guys and Nismo. We were running a Nissan meeting, which was a great event. We've run all-wheel drive shootouts, two-wheel drive shootouts. We got the King of QR coming up. Sean's got the shirt on for the last one.
Perfect.
Yeah, which is one of our biggest events, and it's just the guys in the scene. They're really great guys.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's fun to hang out with them. I like running events for them. So
perfect. Obviously, you both have your 34s behind us. Yeah. Was that always your dream car for both of you guys, or as a kid growing up, was it always something else that you imagined having in your garage, or even now as adults? What would you like to have in your garage if you didn't have these?
Adults.
It's too late for us. I guess originally we were looking at putting an RB26 into my Starion, but wouldn't fit and it was too hard and expensive. And Mike Vine, who was my mechanic back in those days, his son had just got the Skyline, so he offered me to go for a drive in it. Went for a test drive and pretty much fell in love with the car. We were going to get a 32 GST, but the GTR came up and leveraged the home loan. Remember the property boom of the early 2000s? And got myself a 32 GTR, so never looked back, I guess.
Yep, perfect.
The 34 was a bit of an accident.
Well, how'd you get the 34 then?
Probably 3 or 4 years ago, I got a bit of a import car addiction. Sitting on the auction. Just a little bit, yeah. Imported a few cars, and just continually in the background I was throwing bids down on 34s. Just every time one come up, I put the same bid in over and over and over. And I was about 6 months into it, and the guy in Japan called me up and said, "You won the car." And it was almost like the lotto. You buy a ticket every week and never expect to win it. And I was so surprised when I got the 34. So yeah, it was purely by luck. And at the time, the car had rego in Japan, and he said if I get over there, he'll put a trade plate on it and let me drive it around before I import it. I was lucky enough, I had a trip planned to go and see the Super GT at Suzuka. So yeah, flew over. He loaded a GPS up for me for Up Garage, Lawson's Cafe, all those sorts of things.
All the cool spots?
Yeah, all the cool spots. And yeah, I drove around Nagoya. It was just epic to drive your own Skyline in Japan and then bring it back over. Yeah,
Awesome.
really
Almost like it was meant to happen.
Yeah, exactly.
Lucky him. That's
What about yourself, Sean? Any special story behind this one?
Yeah, I had 32 GTRs, and I bought my first one in 04, and I sold that 2010, and I was looking for a 34 because I thought a bit more developed in the chassis, and I'd done my sort of fill of 32s, and I sort of had a soft spot for them, and they were starting to come down in price. So started looking on car sales, found one in ACT, picked up this the V-Spec here, and it only had a few little bolt-ons on it. So from there I just developed it and made it my own, and yeah, here we are over 10 years later, still got it, still enjoying it. So yeah, it's great.
All right, so we've talked a little bit about your guys' stories. Let's talk about these cars behind us. Paul, do you want to talk about your 34?
Yeah, no worries. When we got it in, I got Sean around and Noel, and we sat down and thought we need a theme for the car, because every modification. I spent many years randomly modifying cars in direction of this time I'm going to do it right, sit back, come up with a plan with the guys, and we were strong with the black and white theme with the carbon trims. Thought that'd look cool. I ended up with the Works GT5 rims, a little bit different to the usual T37s. The carbon fibre cues around the bottom, the rear diffuser. It's a non-genuine one, and we bought a sheet of carbon, and Sean, you see in the other videos, he's made all the fins for it and assembled that, fitted up all the carbon work, and went the smoky blinkers, and my wife got me the Attack 34 plates for my birthday, which is fantastic, and sort of given the car a real identity.
Lucky guy.
Yeah, so it's just been slowly, if anything I've learned over the time we've been doing this with Sean, it's less is more with the car. Just we'll pick a little project, like I was just saying to Lockie earlier, that Sean come around about 6 weeks ago and started just unbolting the window wipers and said, yep, next mission, getting these cleaned up. So it's just a matter of taking them off, cleaning them up, and getting them back on. So we just pick a little area of the car, work on that, go around the car and just make it cleaner and cleaner and cleaner. So yeah, there's a lot of, we got plans, we got parts waiting to go on it. Just slowly chip away when we got the time. In the meantime, get out and have a cruise.
Perfect. And the interior as well, that's all been reupholstered, hasn't it?
Yeah, I got the Nismo seat covers when I was in Japan picking the car up. And when I brought them back out here, I ran into a guy with a 32 that had them bonded to the seats, and it made them look like factory seats rather than seat covers. So I head out to the Lee brothers and got them took the seats out, and they bonded them, and they look really good. And they also retrimmed the steering wheel. The MFD had a crack in it, so I got another one of those from Japan, and Shawnee changed it for me. And the new gear knob as well, and I think, the rest of it is as it arrived.
Perfect. Now, everyone's favourite part, the engine bay. What's going on in there?
The engine bay is just, the engine's stock. It's running a bar of boost and N1 turbos that Shawnee fitted up. Some carbon fibre trim, and the crinkle paint on the rocker covers that Sean did, and it's just been a mission of just cleaning the car up, basically, just getting it neater and neater.
Yeah, major service, so
yeah,
timing belt, water pump, all the stuff that you just need to do maintenance wise, and clean it all up and fit an oil cooler kit and a relocator kit for the oil filter, because they're really hard to get to on these cars. So.
Yeah, the HKS oil cooler in there as well. Just adjustable regulator, just all simple stuff on this car. It's done 200,000 K, so I've got to look after it.
Only just broken in.
Yeah, that's it. It's ready for a tune.
Love it. What about any future plans for Attack 34?
We are thinking about building an engine for it. Don't want to say too much at this point, but if I can find the parts and the budget works, it should be pretty awesome. And for me, I fanboy the way this car drives. Sean has built probably the best street GTR. I'll let him tell the engine story, but the response and just the power of that car, it's just an awesome car to drive.
Perfect.
So, yeah, I want this one to go like that one.
Okay, well, Sean, we've heard some big things about this. Let's tell us about it.
Okay, yeah. Like I said, when I bought it, just had basic bolt-ons. So I want to take it that step further. So I went with a 2.8 stroker, originally a Tome A, but then I ended up selling that and went a Nitto 2.8 and kept with the low mounts after experimenting with different turbos and a T51R high mount. Sounded cool, but too laggy. So yep, that stage where it's at now. So Nitto 2.8, GTX 2860 turbos, so still low mounted. Ran a Haltech engine management with E85 and a flex sensor, so I can run both fuels. And that was putting out around 550 horsepower at the wheels on around 28 pounder boost. So it's got a little bit more in it if I wanted to, but already more than enough for the twisties and having fun. So normally I turn it down and just take it easy. Yeah, it's been fun, and I love doing engines and building them and just making the car work for pretty much anything you want to do with it. So if you want to go to drag racing or, you know, bit of time attack, which I've done in the past as well. Yeah, just all those elements to suspension, brakes, you know, all the engine and everything too just ties together. You can hop in, drive it, have fun, not have to worry about something cooking or breaking. So that was the aim, and I think I pretty much got it there, and that's why Paul's after that sort of setup that I've done with that engine, plus a sneaky Automoto V-cam setup in there too. So I got variable cam timing too, just to help with that low end, which is what these cars...
The V-cam in this thing is awesome, and the fact you've done it all with low mount turbos and that engine bay looks near stock. It's just nuts.
So everyone's got their different thoughts on single turbo and twins, but I just wanted to keep it like this and just play with the big boys against their singles. And yeah, I know that the single turbo is easy to work on and you're saving some money, but that was just my choice how I wanted to go with the car. So yeah, it's been fun.
Perfect. So anything for the future for this one, or are you happy where this one is at the moment?
I think it's more to do with just keeping on top of the maintenance side of things as these cars get older. So CV boots, driveline components, is, you know, wear and tear if you use the car. But basically, I'm pretty happy where it is now. It's really just down to just fine tuning what I've got and tune wise, things like that. And actually looking at Paul's car now and starting to work with him on what he wants out of his. So yeah, it's been great.
Awesome. Well, we've seen the 34s. Do you guys have anything else hiding in the garage, or any plans on getting anything new in the future?
We do have a nice Evo 4. We'll be happy to show you. And there is a GTR on the boat on the way from Japan. And
perfect.
Twin turbo one,
cool. Twin turbo GTO 6.
Gran Turismo days just brings it all back to the PlayStation generation.
We're looking forward to having a go on that one. But the other car you'll have to wait and see. We do have a secret project on the build.
Ooh, I think we're all keen to see that one. So, also, well, guys, I want to thank you both for coming down today. You know, telling us a little bit about your story, showing us your cars. We all really appreciate it. So, thanks very much for coming down, guys.
Yeah, cheers.
No worries. Thank you.